What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Bread Pudding Official, and today we are doing our UNPL Week 4 match against JV Westside. If you haven't already, check him out. He's way more popular than me, so you probably have already. But yeah, if you haven't already, just check him out. He's pretty cool. But yeah, let's get into this matchup. So I'm probably gonna put a team builder on again, like I always do. I'm recording this day of. But if you can't tell already, I'm doing this post-com because my original recording was really not entertaining, and I was just really out of it that day. So like, yeah, I just want to do post-com, and I think it's really important to do post-com matches like these, just so like it could kind of, yeah, you'll figure out why later. But yeah, we're facing JB Westside. Right now, at this point, I'm just like, I always like try to configure things before I start a match. Make sure everything is ready, make sure our damage counts are good, and whatnot. So that's the reason why I'm taking so long. Basically, what I do is before a match, I have like a known lead when I want to lead. So I kind of like roll that before I go for a match, but like I always try to get everything situated, get to know the terror types, just stuff like that before the match starts. So yeah, go like have fun at JB Westside, and yeah, sick avatar. Yeah, I like the addition of card here in this game. I think it's always pretty sick. They actually lead off with a samurott-hisui. I lead off with Hisui and bravery. Okay, I'm like, at this point, I'm just kind of like, do it or go home. Like, I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Why not? I think this is a very iffy play in my opinion. I'll explain it in a second, but if you see in a second, he's really debating what he wants to do. There's a couple options. I terrifying hurricane here, solely because like, if he isn't stashed, this should just like drop. I think even if assault vest, it should just drop. We are sheer force hurricane, so this does like a big damage no matter what. It never confuses here, but I still think that's fine. He sees this edge, and we miss a hurricane. So I'll talk about more about this play in a second. But like, okay, I could have never sees this edge. That's pretty doable for me. So I'm just gonna straight up go for another hurricane, because why not? I feel like I did like a little bit less than half, so I'm gonna win this. Sadly, I do not. So now reflecting back on my hurricane play, that was a really bad play by me. It was very unnecessary, very not. There's better plays for me to make. And a couple scenarios here. So I could have probably led different. Hisui and bravery is a very reckless lead in my opinion, so I could probably led different in that sense. And I think if I led Hisui and bravery, I just went straight for U-turn, because it ended up the samurott-hisui did end up being sash. So I was like, and I kind of knew in team preview, not for team preview, when I was prepping that this thing would be sash. So I was like, just in case you're not sash, which it was, I'm gonna hurricane and kill it. Which that was a really reckless thing to do turn 1. And then frankly, I did deserve to miss that hurricane, because in prep, saying that like I'm gonna land this hurricane turn 1 and kill it, that's a really ballsy play, and I deserve to get punished for that play. So yeah, and I go for Aqua Quarterback, does a decent chunk. We're gonna set up rocks now. I thought that maybe they'd want to save this thing because I could launch a play rough that does over half. I wish now, when she set up a sword dance, I should probably just play roughed here. But I don't think it really matters that much because we're slower anyways. So I wish here, in hindsight, play rough probably would have been a better play, but at this point, I'm just kind of like, this is what happens when I have like a super bad like turn 1. As many of you could see like by my previous weeks, I kind of just like panic, and I have like really good turn 1s, But I mean, I have really bad turn ones, but after that, like those like initial turns, I kind of get myself together and kind of am able to kind of reflect. And I play rough here. If that play rough missed, that would have been super bad for me. Like I would have probably lost my spot, and I probably got 6-0 what I was swinging Samurott. But yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna get 6-0'd, and at this point, I'm just kind of like, I just have to sack off Screamtail here. So, yeah, we sack off a Screamtail. Really want a Screamtail to do a little bit more, but sadly, it just couldn't do that. At this point, I'm just kind of like, Mamoswine, and the moment I swapped to Mamoswine, I was like, oh my goodness, Samurott-hisui is base 85 speed. Mamoswine's base 80. I'm about to get swept here. I made a very big misplay, which I think I still did here. I think there's better plays. Yep, a Sucker Punch here. Thinking Scarf, which I guess this play did work out, but it's still a very reckless play. Basically here, I'm in a terrible position because basically I'm playing a free against 5 because I think they have to know I'm a choice item and they could easily just take that risk. So they send in Electros here. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm playing a free against 5 now, which is a super bad position because I'm forced to swap out Mamoswine. I think this is an okay play, but it could have ended very poorly because the chance I was banded, they could have been like, okay, you could swap into Palafin. I'm gonna like go for like a Thunderbolt or a Wild Charge here and kill Palafin, which would have probably put me in an even worse position. But yeah, we swap into Palafin here. Try to get the hero activated and try to set up for a Palafin endgame here. Yeah, they coil here, and I'm like, okay, this is actually super good for me. This is super good for me because this is kind of my way out. This is the way how I win because my Dragapult is actually Mirror Herb, and that's actually super good for the situation because I guess Electros could have knockoff, but at this point I just gotta like, I'm so far behind, I gotta start taking some risks, and I'm really thinking about what I want to do here. But I'm like, okay, they could set up another coil here, so I just like am like, okay, let's just go straight into Dragapult here, and hopefully set up another coil, do some stuff. A Drain Punch here, which is pretty reasonable play. Yep, they are leftovers, so we're gonna get all my HP back, which is obviously not the best for me, but it's what it is. And yeah, at this point, I'm just like, wow, JB's playing very well because he really is. Because even though I do think I've been making some really bad plays, I think he's just been like very like taking advantage of those plays and just like making his lead even further than it already is. So like, even though I'm like complaining about like me making all these bad plays, I think that like part of things in Mons is like taking advantage of those people that make bad plays, and I think JB's doing it super well here. Which, like, I just want to point that out because, I think that's really important when it comes to Mons. Just kind of, like, knowing that, like, okay, my opponent's making bad plays, but how can I take advantage of what my opponent making bad plays? Which I think JB's doing actually very excellent here. So, yeah, we go for Dragon Dance here, and, I forgot what the Electros goes here. I think I might go for another Liquidation. But I'm like, okay, I need to go for Coil here. They go for Liquidation. I think they want to break my sub now. And I'm like, okay. If we set up a Coil, we could possibly just win on the spot. Which, obviously wouldn't be the cleanest win ever. But, we could just win on the spot if we Dragon Dance here. And we get to plus, like, 5. If you set up a Coil here. Yep, so you're going to set up another Coil. Which, this is where the chat pops up here. And that's a Mirror Herb. Yep, a Mirror Herb pops here. And right at this point, I'm like, okay, screw it. We're in a decent position here. We could Dragon Dance again. And in hindsight, probably not the best Dragon Dance ever. I should have probably just attacked here. because there's some possible priority that could be back. So Dragon is, because we're just gonna keep liquidation, because I think at this point JB's just like, okay, that's cool with me, because I could just keep liquidation and find my outs later. So we Dragon Darts here, and as we could tell, that even without the other Dragon Dance, Dragon Darts would have been a 2-hit KO there. So we can go for another liquidation here. And I think we just Dragon Darts. They would think for a little bit, but we Dragon Darts, and then they actually just sack off Electros here, because kind of like the only reason that I'm assuming that the only reason they really want to save is because of the sack. So yeah, I just Dragon Darts here with Dragapult, which is it's the best play I could probably make here. At this point, it's kind of like just like Dragapult or bust. But like the fact I could get rid of some mons with Dragapult here is just super solid, and really just like making my lead, not making my bad start diminish slowly. So like yeah, so we KO Electros here, and I'm like, okay, please, Valiant, do not have Shadow Sneak. If you don't have Shadow Sneak, you can just win on the spot, which would be pretty sick, because after a bad start, I would love just to win on the spot with Dragapult. Then going to Valiant, I'm like, okay, maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance they don't have Shadow Sneak. Maybe we're just trying to bluff it and trying to have me swap out and just like launch Moonblast. That's my hope right now, because furthermore, they reveal booster speed. Maybe we're just choking right now. Maybe we're just choking. I'm hoping that we're just choking here. Please just choke. I'm hoping that we're choking, because no, they don't. They Shadow Sneak, but we do live at 9 HP because of a freaking Mirror Herb, which is pretty sick. We Phantom Force here, and they make the smartest play they can make here. They obviously are aware that a second Shadow Sneak will KO here, so they actually swap out the Iron Valiant for the Bread Point Wiener, because that was like, I think that was like their designated Dragapult check, which is pretty fair, because they're probably like, okay, we don't need this mon anymore, so we're just gonna kind of sack it off, which is pretty fair. Yeah, so Dragapult is in. At this point, Dragapult is pretty much dead, because as the kind of tell, they sack off the dash button, because they still want to keep the Iron Valiant, because it has still Shadow Sneak at disposal. Shadow Sneak always KOs here, and I really can't do much about it, because I can be like, okay, cool, I want to save Dragapult, but I really can't, because there's spikes up, and Dragapult will die by spikes. So it's kind of like a horse apiece here. If I sack off Dragapult or Mamoswine here, I think both are just going to die in later spikes. So I'm really thinking, do I want to save these monster sacks, or do I just want to let them go? Because right now I have 2 sacks at my disposal, which is something that like could be really good for the future. But I'm just like, okay, Dragapult, I don't really need you anymore. I think having 2 sacks would be way too excessive. I think having 1 sack would be very excessive. I think 1 sack would be good here. And this is a very bad misplay to make here. So I'm like, okay, I debate for a while. Do I ever go Palafin or Heatran? I think both have their positives, both have their negatives. But the thing I was most scared of most here, the thing I'm fixated on the most, was if I send in Heatran here, I Flash Cannon, and then I let Kommo-o get up a Clinger Soul. And then Kommo-o could just kind of sweep out a Clinger Soul. So I'm like, okay, Palafin, please just KO with his Boom Burst. You're like Mass Special Attack Palafin. I'm pretty sure you KO with his Boom Burst. And if you KO, I could just win up a spot. Because we have Draining Kiss, we can recover HP. And I'm just kind of like, please, please. But, yeah, we're really thinking about our move here. I was hoping that we swapped, or we Moonblast here. And we live, which is pretty sick. A Boom Burst. And we miss out my KO. So, now Palafin is not in the greatest spot ever. So, we just sack off Mamoswine here, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm just kind of like panicking here. No, I go to Heatran here. Which is also a pretty reckless play, because they could have easily went for Close Combat here. Never realized I made this play, but I disagree with it, because I think it was a pretty bad play, because Close Combat, I think, I had a Mamoswine sack for a reason. Just go with Mamoswine, but they do go for Shadow Sneak here, which is a pretty good play. Hoping for Flame Body, we do give a Flame Body here. which is pretty sick. And at this point, this Iron Valiant is pretty chipped. There's no reason to really save it anymore. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go for our Flash Cannon here. And we're just gonna go with it. Yeah, so at this point, we're just trying to reforge our lead. And yeah, we Flash Cannon the Valiant. We kill the Valiant here. And I'm like, okay, we're probably gonna go into kommo here and try to sweep me with Claim Your Soul. Which is the reason why I didn't want to send Heatran. So we are thinking for a little bit here. I'm like, are we actually gonna send an avalugg here? If we send an avalugg, we have some chances to get not bailed. We have some chances to get bailed here. We send an avalugg because I am aware that avalugg is their Terra Captain. But if we could get a couple of special defense drops here or a flame body, we could possibly pull this out. So they do send an avalugg here. They are not heavy duty boost, which is pretty sick. And at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm okay stacking up Heatran because you just need to commit to the palafin game. And they do Terra Hisui and Avalugg, which is pretty fair. Terra Hisui and Avalugg is their best play here. I don't know their exact kommo set, but yeah, we Flash Cannon here. We're gonna body press. I'm like, okay, that's one chance for us. We do not give a flame body. Okay, I'm like, okay, we'll Flash Cannon again, hope for a special defense drop or hope for another flame body. So we're Flash Cannon. We do not get a special defense drop. We are gonna recover. I'm like, okay. I have no reason to recover again. So we have a chance at a Flash Cannon special defense drop or a chance of a flame body. Give a Flash Cannon. No special defense drop. Body press. Flame body. We do not give a flame body. So at this point, I'm just hoping palafin-KOs here. I'm really hoping palafin-KOs here. So, and please Palafin, I believe in you, Palafin. I believe in you, Palafin. Please KO Boomburst. Please KO Boomburst. Come on, Palafin, I believe. I believe in you, Palafin. But sadly, the avalugg-hisui sadly lives, and that is just a GG right there. Yeah. So overall, I think JB Westside just played super well there. Like, he played as well as he could have because I made a ton of bad plays there. That's something I will admit. I made a ton of bad plays in that match. But he just kind of took advantage of those plays, and that's all you can really do when your opponent plays bad. Like, you just take advantage of those plays, and you roll them. You take them. Yeah, and that's what exactly he did. Because even when a person says that they did not play the best, it does still take some skill to beat that opponent. And I think JB Westside did that very well there. He knew his outs, and he played his outs. So, like, yeah, he just played very well there, in my opinion. But I don't think I played that well there at all. I think there's multiple times when I choked. I think there's only like 4 or 5 plays, maybe 6 or 7. I was like really confident. I think all my other plays were just kind of like. This is a very iffy game. I made a lot of chokes here. I think because obviously this is a very tough matchup in the first place because of the samurott-hisui, and the fact you just let it, just like really put me in the back foot because I led braviary, hoping that was my best samurott-hisui lead. I should have just U-turned. There's no reason not to U-turn and then go on like palafin or like Screamtail even, because if I U-turn I would play rough Screamtail range, so like I could have probably did that. Another choke I did is I should have, instead of going palafin like that late game in front of Valiant, I should have went Heatran, which is Flash Cannon, because obviously I think Heatran Flash Cannon had less risks, because Valiant obviously did lose its booster, but that was like the perfect chance to go Scarlet Heatran, so I always did outspeed it. But I still kind of like choked against that, and it just, I think that was a really missed opportunity there. But yeah, that's all I really have. Hopefully next week we can actually rebound. I already played my next week, and yeah, we'll see that later. But yeah, thank you all for watching. This is like a nice pace of change in my opinion of like watching a match, because I think it's really important to kind of like reflect your matches and kind of like think like what plays could be better. And I think this is a really good match that highlights it. So yeah, that's all, and bye bye everybody.